If you love Bún Riêu but don't have the time or the ingredients to make it from scratch, meet its lighter, faster cousin, Bún Tôm Thịt Băm. All of those tangy, comforting vibes ready in under 45 minutes.
Hey guys, it's raining like crazy today. And conveniently enough, I'm really heavily craving a bowl of Bún Riêu. But I just looked in my fridge and I don't have like half of the ingredients. So I actually thought this is a really good opportunity for me to show you one of my easiest recipes, Bún Tôm Thịt Băm, which is like a vermicelli noodle soup with ground pork and shrimp. Think of it as like Bún Rieu's lighter, milder, chiller cousin. You can probably grab all the ingredients that you need at any standard grocery store. And you know what the best part is? Comes together in under 45 minutes. So let's do this.
First things first, we're gonna peel and devein our shrimp. I'm using colossal shrimp, which are usually labeled 16-20. That just means you get about 16 to 20 shrimp per pound. I like to leave the tails on, and for half of them, we're gonna give them a good smash just like this. This is gonna help release even more of that shrimp flavor into the broth. And when done, just leave them aside for now. Moving on to the tomatoes. I'm using Roma tomatoes, but go ahead and use whatever variety you like. I'm just gonna remove the stems and cut them into nice, large wedges just like this. Some people prefer to remove the skin, but this is a quick and easy recipe for me, so I'm just gonna leave them on. The tomatoes will give the broth a really nice subtle tang, which is exactly why it's gonna remind you of Bún Riêu. For the green onions, grab about 2 to 3 stalks and separate the firmer white parts from the more tender green tops. Finely chop the white parts. We'll be using these to marinate the ground pork, and save the green parts for garnish at the end. Chop it up really finely and leave it aside. Same thing with the cilantro. Give it a nice fine chop and we'll save that for garnish as well. I'm using some button mushrooms here, which I like because they don't give off too much strong flavors. Some other options are oyster mushrooms or straw mushrooms. Clean the surface well and cut them in half. For the ground pork, season it with the green onions we just chopped earlier, some chicken bouillon, fish sauce, and black pepper. Give everything a really good mix so that all of the seasoning is evenly distributed. Try to break it up into smaller, finer pieces, and now let's take this over to the stove and let's get started on our broth. Grab a medium-sized stock pot and heat up a little neutral oil. Once it's hot, add your minced shallots and garlic, followed by the ground pork. We're gonna give the pork a quick sear, breaking it apart as it cooks so we get nice, fine pieces throughout the broth. Once the pork is no longer clumpy, add in your tomato wedges and let everything cook together until the tomatoes start to soften and release some of their juices. Let it hang out for a bit and then fill the pot about 3/4 of the way with water. And don't worry about using water instead of bone broth here. We're gonna get plenty of flavor from the ground pork and the shrimp that we're gonna be adding later on. What I really love about this soup is how light and delicate the broth is. So you'll actually really appreciate how much flavor we can build with just a few simple ingredients. For seasoning, let's add some chicken bouillon, fish sauce, and a little bit of rock sugar. Granulated sugar is gonna be totally fine too, but I always like to keep rock sugar on hand for making soups because it gives you a milder, more subtle sweetness that's really easy on the palate. And as always guys, bone or no bone, you know I love me a nice clear broth, so grab a fine mesh strainer and skim away any of that foam that rises to the top. It's a little extra effort, but trust me, it's gonna be totally worth it. And I don't want the mushrooms to overcook and lose their shape, which is why I'm adding them a little bit later on. Now just let everything come to a gentle simmer, and while that's going, we can work on our shrimp. Grab a small pan and heat up a little bit of neutral oil. Add some shallots and garlic and fry them until they're nice and golden, then in go our peeled shrimp. Now you could absolutely just add the shrimp straight into the broth, but I like to give them a quick sear first with the shallots and garlic. It builds a little bit more flavor and creates this delicious shrimp-infused oil that will add right back into the soup. I find shrimp already has like a nice natural saltiness to them, so I'm not gonna add any more seasoning here. But if you want a little extra kick, you can always add a touch of chicken bouillon or fish sauce. I'm also gonna be adding a little annatto oil for color, which is gonna carry over into the broth and give it a really beautiful, subtle golden orange hue. And don't cook these for too long guys. Remember, they're gonna be going into the broth later, so we definitely don't want to end up with tough, rubbery shrimp. To cook the rice vermicelli, bring a pot of water to a boil and add 1 package, which should be enough to serve about 4 people. Cook them for around 9 minutes, then drain and give them a really good rinse under cold water. This stops the cooking process and helps keep the noodles from sticking together. Once rinsed, leave it aside and let it drain completely. And then, about 5 minutes before you're ready to serve, bring the broth back to a gentle simmer and add in our seared shrimp. Give everything a really good stir and let the shrimp finish cooking in that flavorful broth. And just like that, we're ready to assemble our bowls of noodle soup. And just look at all of these delicious toppings that await us. I'm gonna start with some chopped green lettuce at the bottom for a little bit of crunch, then go in with our rice noodles, some of those massive juicy shrimp, and finally, let's ladle that beautiful hot broth right over the top, making sure we get plenty of the ground pork, tomatoes, and mushrooms in every bowl. Oh my goodness, look at this. I can hardly wait to dig into this steaming hot bowl of goodness. Top it off with some green onions and cilantro, fried shallots, and of course, some chilies.
All right, this looks so good. Let's give it a try. Look at how nice and succulent the shrimp is. I have to take a bite. Jumbo shrimp is such a nice treat because it's so firm. It tastes almost like lobster meat. Now let's try the broth. Honestly, I thought it might be a little bit blasphemous for me to call this like a Bún Riêu alternative, but all the flavor profiles are there, guys. The broth is sweetened with the pork flavor, and then you have a little bit of that seafoody kick as well. The tanginess is there from the tomatoes. The only thing that might be missing is like a little bit of pungentness from the Bún Tôm, and of course that crab flavor. But in a pinch, this is such a good hack. So in terms of greens and herbs, I'm serving this with a little bit of lettuce and a little bit of mint, because I think you can find that at any grocery store. But if you happen to have a garden and you have access to perilla or lemon balm, that's probably what's gonna take it from good to great. Guys, if you enjoyed this recipe, please hit that like button and leave me a comment. Let me know which Vietnamese recipe you wanna see me simplify next. Don't forget to subscribe, and remember that all the printable recipes are linked below. I gotta get back to this, but thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!